Good evening everyone and welcome to our live coverage of another Starlink mission from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Space Launch Complex 40. We are awaiting for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time from SPIC 40, Eastern Florida. Today's mission is a part of SpaceX Starlink space launch. The mission 6-59 will launch 23 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Today, for the first time, a Falcon booster with tail number 1062 will launch for its record-breaking 21st flight. This launch marks SpaceX 344th launch overall. Hello, my name is Dipta Maitra. I will be performing the commentary for today's mission launch. We are super excited bringing you the coverage of SpaceX 52nd overall launch and the 51st launch of Falcon 9, just of this year. This will be the 36th dedicated Starlink mission of the year for SpaceX. Prior to today's launch, SpaceX has launched 788 Starlink satellites so far, over 35 flights this year, and overall 6,436 Starlink satellites to date. All of our launches are solo shows here, so bear with me if we run into some technical issues, but we will do our level best to guide you smoothly through the launch of Falcon 9 rocket. Coming up in 52 minutes and 18 seconds, 42 minutes and 13 seconds counting. So far, SpaceX reports the weather looks good. The weather is looking average for today's Falcon 9 launch opportunity, although the range is ready to support, having a 25% probability of violation and 75% favorable outlook, with the primary concern being anvil cloud rules and cumulus cloud rules. We hope that they are able to hit the start of launch of the window and not have to push too far. But if for some reason we do not launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow, that is Saturday, May 18, with launch window opening at 8:06 p.m. Eastern Time. Now let's take a look at today's payload details. This launch marks the 36th dedicated Starlink launch for this year. A fun fact, at the very inception, two identical test satellites called Microsat 2A and Microsat 2B during development, but were renamed Tintin A and Tintin B upon deployment, were launched on 22nd February 2018. So Tintin A and Tintin B are the first two Starlink test satellites to be launched. Starlink satellites are built at SpaceX Satellite Development Facility in Redmond, Washington. Today's launch consists of 23 version 2 mini satellites. The version 2 variant of Starlink is too large to fit inside a Falcon 9 fairing and is meant to be launched by starships only. So for that, SpaceX indicated they would build satellites of the second generation Gen 2 constellation in two different but technically identical form factors. One with physical structure tailored to launch on Falcon 9, that is version 2 mini, and another tailored for the launch on Starship, that is version 2. Each Starlink is equipped with four phased array antennas and two parabolic antennas to provide increased capacity. These phased array antennas utilize Ku, Ka, and E band frequencies, allowing Starlink to provide 4 times more capacity per satellite than earlier versions. Each satellite features a single solar array with a size of 52.5 square meters, which unfurls to a wingspan of 100 feet. Some units of Starlink satellites have laser transponders for intercommunication and optical inter-satellite links or ISL, enabling the spacecraft to transmit data without local ground stations, providing truly global coverage. Each Starlink version 2 mini satellite weighs nearly 800 kilograms, that is 1,763 pounds. Starlink satellites are equipped with efficient ion Hall thrusters powered by argon, which enable Starlink satellites to orbit-raise, maneuver in space, and deorbit at the end of their usual life. Starlink is first Krypton-propelled ever flown spacecraft. Later, SpaceX switched to argon Hall effect thrusters. Relative to Krypton, the argon required to fuel Starlink version 2 satellites will be practically free. To put it into perspective, fueling its next constellation of almost 30,000 version 2 satellites would cost SpaceX less than fueling 4,000 version 1 satellites, which were based on Krypton. Also, SpaceX claims that its second generation thrusters using argon has 2.4 times the thrust and 1.5 times the specific impulse of the previous Krypton fuel thruster. Today's payload will be placed in an orbit with an altitude of 530 kilometers and an inclination of 43 degrees. But this configuration does not apply to every Starlink satellite. Starlink satellites are placed in different configurations based on their group. For Group 5 and Group 6, the nominal altitude is 530 km with an inclination of 43 degrees. For Group 7, the nominal altitude is 525 km with an inclination of 53 degrees. And for Group 8, the nominal altitude is 535 km with an inclination of 53 degrees. Starlink uses custom-built navigation sensors named Star Tracker that survey the stars to determine each satellite's location, altitude, and orientation for better possible broadband throughput. Also worth mentioning, the Starlink satellites are equipped with an autonomous collision avoidance system for avoiding collisions with spacecraft and space jump autonomously, which utilizes the US Department of Defense debris tracking database. Now moving forward, let's look into the flight history of today's booster supporting the mission. Quite a mature booster with 20 previous flights in its record, including missions like GPS-3, Space Vehicle 4, GPS-3 Space Vehicle 5, Inspiration 4, Axiom 1 mission, NileSat 301 mission, OneWeb Launch 17th mission, ArabSat, and 13 Starlink missions. Now the booster with tail number 1062 is awaiting its 21st flight, just 30 minutes away, and that will be a record achieved by SpaceX. Today, for the first time, a Falcon booster will launch for its 21st time. Currently, booster with tail number 1060, 1061, and 1062 all have 20 launches so far as their milestones. Moving on, let's look at the bar chart. Before today's launch, SpaceX hit a big milestone, this year's 50th launch with the previous Starlink 8 mission, launched from the Vandenberg spaceport. That's two more than half of last year's Falcon 9 launch, with total 49. This year's count already surpasses the total number of Falcon 9 launches from all the years leading up to 2021. And they are now getting close to matching with 2022 launches being made. Now with today's launch, that is Starlink Group 6-59 mission, the bar graph depicts 51 Falcon 9 launches so far this year. They have already done half as many launches as they did all of last year, and it's only been 4.5 months of this year. If they keep this pace up, they are on the track to hit 140 to 148 launches by the end of the year. It is obvious SpaceX is pushing hard towards their big goals. Plus, they did a static fire test of all 66 Raptor engines on Starship 30, getting ready for IFT-5, even before the upcoming IFT-4. Now we are currently T minus 31 minutes and 23 seconds into the countdown as SpaceX fuels the Falcon 9 rocket. As we move through the countdown, we want to thank all of you watching live. We are appreciate we appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, please like this video to help YouTube's algorithm bring in some more space fans and rocket enthusiasts. Also, if you subscribe, we are super grateful for your support. A big thanks to our amazing YouTube community joining us today. We are truly thankful for every one of you on this live stream. Your support means the world to us. Thank you all. Hello, Fairmate. Welcome. After many days, you showed up. I hope you are doing great. Poptripica, yes, it is Linux. Your answer is correct because it is an open source Linux operating system on which Starlink operates. Thanks for joining us, Poptripica. Please enjoy the stream. Let's go ahead as we progress to the countdown and review the milestones that lie ahead of us on this Cape Canaveral flight. At T-38 minutes, the countdown kicks off when SpaceX launch director gives the green light to start loading propellant. If everything checks out, propellant loading begins at T-30 minutes with RB-1 rocket grade kerosene being loaded into the first and second stages of the Falcon 9. At the same time, LOX load, that is super chilled liquid oxygen, gets loaded into the first stage. Then at T-16 minutes, the big event is the start of liquid oxygen loading for the second stage. At T-7 minute mark, the chill down of 9 Merlin engines starts. This means a small amount of liquid oxygen flows through the pipes and pumps to protect the engines from thermal shock during their ignition. At about 6 minutes before liftoff, the Falcon 9's first stage tanks should be full with kerosene RP-1 grade rocket propellant. In a T-4 minute and a half, T-4 and a half minutes, the strong back retract sequence begins. Excuse me for stammering. The process begins with the clamped arms below the payload fairing opening up and the strong back or the transport erector reclining a degree and a half. It stays in that position until liftoff, then quickly moves out of the way for the rocket's ascent. So the strong back positioned alongside the vehicle, also referred as the transporter erector or TE, fulfills multiple functions. It supplies propellant, provides air conditioning, pressurization gases, and electrical power. Additionally, it transports the Falcon 9 to launch pad and positions it for the launch. At T-3 minute mark, the first stage liquid oxygen loading should be complete, followed by second stage liquid oxygen loading wrapping up at T-2 minute mark. At that point, the Falcon 9 rocket is fully fueled with 1 million pounds of propellant. Now at T minus 1 minute mark, the propellant tanks are brought up to flight pressure. In the final 60 seconds of countdown, the control of flight system, that is launch sequence, is handed over from the ground sequencer to Falcon 9's onboard flight computer. If everything looks good, at T minus 45 second mark, SpaceX launch director will give the final go for Falcon 9 liftoff. Now at T minus 3 seconds, the engine ignition sequence start command being issued by onboard engine controller. Finally at T0, we have liftoff. If all 9 Merlin 1D engines ignite and are healthy, flight computers will give the command for the hold down clamp to release the Falcon 9. Currently targeting at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:32 p.m. Pacific Time, both on Friday, and 12:32 a.m. UTC on 17th May, that is on Saturday. Please allow us a couple of seconds so that we can check the launch is on time or not. Currently, it looks like SpaceX is on time. The launch is scheduled for 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:32 p.m. Pacific Time on Friday 17th May, which will be 12:32 a.m. UTC on Saturday 18th May. SpaceX reports that the weather is 95% favorable for liftoff. Now let's go ahead and briefly step through the trajectory for today's mission. Falcon 9 will lift off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. With the spacecraft on board, the batch of 23 Starlink satellites for a southeasterly trajectory heading into low Earth orbit to the sixth shell of Starlink constellation, indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line indicates where Falcon 9 first stage will land after stage separation, just a little later, leaving Florida spaceport. This is going to be a droneship landing using autonomous spaceport droneship named A Shortfall of Gravitas, one of the two here on East Coast, which means that the first stage booster with tail number 1062, flying for the record-breaking 21st time, will be returning heading out to the droneship for its landing. So, mate, thanks for being here, watching us, watching the live. It doesn't matter that you are watching it quietly. I know the voice of mine won't be such good or frequent to your ears, maybe, but still, you are here. For that, we are thankful and we are grateful. You have been always supporting us like this. So, moving on, currently there are 3 in SpaceX droneship fleet. We expect the addition of the 4th droneship likely by the end of this year or early next year. of the three drone ships, just with the instruction and shortfall of Gravitas are stationed here in Florida, while Of Course I Still Love You is located in California. Now moving on, let's talk about the fairing recovery. The two halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther downrange from where the first stage lands on the drone ship. After, they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachute. SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel to retrieve them from the Atlantic waters. SpaceX manufactures the fairing in-house with the total cost of two halves is nearly $6 million. No wonder that SpaceX aims to recover the fairing for repetitive use, mirroring its approach with rocket boosters, upholding the motto of reusability and sustainability. SpaceX has dedicated years of effort to recover and reuse the payload fairing. You can see on your screen how a fairing recovery looks like. For today's mission, the recovery vessel we will be performing the recovery of the fairing halves is Doug. Other recovery vessel Bob currently awaiting its next assignment. SpaceX has named its two new recovery ships Bob and Doug after NASA astronauts and the first crew SpaceX launched for NASA under commercial crew program, Bob Bacon and Doug Hurley on Demo 2 mission to International Space Station back in 2020. Currently, we are T minus 19 minutes and 27 seconds and counting. Here is a short video of the fairing half as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, creating a halo around it. You can see such nice visuals, although they are dangerous, they look good. Now moving on, let's have a quick look through the launch timeline for Falcon 9 touching these events following liftoff. At T plus 1 minute and 11 seconds, Falcon 9 will pass through Max Q, a point of greatest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Then there will be a couple of different milestones in rapid succession. First will be first stage main engine cutoff, that is MECO, at T plus 2 minutes and 26 seconds, followed by a major milestone within 4 seconds at T plus 2 minutes and 30 seconds, where first and second stage will separate from each other. After 6 seconds later, second stage MBAC engine will ignite for the first time during the flight, that is SES-1 at T plus 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Coming up next at T plus 2 minutes and 56 seconds mark, Falcon 9's payload fairings will be jettisoned. At T plus 6 minutes and 9 seconds, the first stage entry burn will begin, lasting for 24 seconds up to 6 minutes and 33 seconds mark, ending the entry burn for the first stage. At this time around, we will hear the call out for stage 1 and stage 2 flight termination system being safe. The stage 1 FTS is saved, that is turned off or disabled after the re-entry burn, while the stage 2 FTS is saved after the orbital insertion burn. We will also hear the callout for stage 1 being transonic and stage 2 being in terminal guidance. Next major milestone at T plus 7 minutes and 59 seconds, the first stage landing burn will begin, which will orient and set up the first stage for SpaceX iconic precision landing. At T plus 8 minutes and 22 seconds, the first stage will land on droneship A Shortfall of Gravitas. This will be SpaceX 309th landing overall and a record-breaking 21st flight for a Falcon booster. The second stage MBAC engine will shut down, that is TCO1, and enter into a parking orbit at plus 8 minutes and 41 seconds. At T plus 44 minutes and 8 seconds, the second stage MBAC engine will reignite for a short 2-second burn, that is SES2, and turning it off at T plus 54 minutes and 10 seconds, that is CECO2, which will set up Starlink satellite deployment at approximately T plus 1 hour, 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Let's look at the chats a little. For Tripika, why doesn't it burn? As I said in our other live, today I think time won't permit us to discuss about Falcon 9, but if you have followed other lives of ours, then you would have been known that Falcon 9 fairings are made up of a carbon composite material which has tremendous heat resistance. So for that it doesn't burn, and for the very reason it is being like it is a payload fairing on which inside which all the spacecraft are being housed, that shields them from aerodynamic heating also and mechanical stresses that happen as we ride through the Earth atmosphere while launching. So both at the launch and while re-entry it is heat resistant, and that's why it doesn't burn out. Hopefully I could clear you the what question you have asked. Now here is a pictorial from of our today's flight from launch to its landing. So after the Falcon 9's liftoff, it ascends, followed by stage separation, where the first stage will have a flip maneuver. After that, it will deploy its hypersonic grid pins. Just a couple of minutes after the grid pin deployment, it will have entry burn while entering into the Earth atmosphere. It will pass through aerodynamic guidance, making its way to vertical landing on the drone ship, today on A Shortfall of Gravitas. Meanwhile, the second stage will continue towards its low Earth orbit. It will first separate its fairing, and then nearly after 1 hour and 5 minutes, 65 minutes during the flight, it will deploy the payload into its orbit. Coming to some stats related to today's mission launch. The launch marks 346 SpaceX overall launch and 36 dedicated launch of Starlink satellite for this year. This is the 335th Falcon 9 launch to date. This will be the 21st flight of this particular Falcon 9 booster with tail number 1062, setting a new record for most flights by a Falcon booster. It is the 51st Falcon 9 launch of 2024 so far, and is SpaceX's 52nd overall launch of this year, including the third integrated flight test of Starship back in Texas. This is SpaceX 280th Falcon booster reflight to date, that is the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 186th orbital launch for SpaceX launch from Sleep 40. This launch also marks 241st overall orbital launch from this pad, that is Space Launch Complex 40. And with this mission, SpaceX will have a remarkable 6,459 Starlink satellites launched to date. Currently, SpaceX is right on time for today's Dipta, that is 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be 5:32 p.m. Pacific Time, both on May 17 and 12:32 a.m. UTC on May 18th, Saturday. Now moving on to some reusability statistics. This is the 70th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship. This will be the 21st landing of the first stage booster with tail number 1062. This launch marks 266 Falcon 9 booster reflight to date. With this mission's landing, which paved the way to the 241st overall droneship landing, marking 292nd Falcon 9 landing to date and 309 SpaceX overall booster landing to date. Here is the thing worth mentioning: among the droneship, A Shortfall of Gravitas has a flawless record with 0 unsuccessful landing attempts and 69 successful landings. In comparison, Just Reader Instruction has encountered 3 unsuccessful landings with 81 successful landings being made, while Of Course I Still Love You has experienced 7 unsuccessful landings and 90 successful landings so far. All these stats are not including today's mission, but with this stat, it gives A Shortfall of Gravitas the lead in successful and clean droneship landing attempts. Now let's have a look into some key stats for SpaceX launches in this year, including today's mission. So SpaceX has a total of 52 launches, and out of those 15 were non-Starlink missions. They have reused booster for 49 times in those launches, showing their commitment to sustainability. Talking about geographical distribution, they have 35 launches from East Coast, with 11 from Launch Complex 39A, that is Kennedy Space Center, and 24 from Space Launch Complex 40, that is from Vanderbilt, that is from Cape Canaveral. On the West Coast, 16 launches, all from Space Launch Complex 4 East, that is from Vanderbilt. Plus, there was one launch from Gulf Coast at Starbase back in Texas for Starship third integrated flight test. As of landing, they have nailed it 50 times. Most of them were on droneship, with 38 successful landings, 13 on Of Course I Still Love You, 10 on Just Read the Instructions, and 15 on A Shortfall of Gravitas, including one from today's mission. And for ground landings, they have pulled off 12, with 8 on landing zone 1, with only one landing on landing zone 2, and 3 on landing zone 4 respectively. Now currently we are T-minus 5 minutes. Before that, let's look into some of other key stats of this mission. Moving on to this year's orbital launches, including today's one, the United States is dominating with 59 orbital launches, comprising a substantial 62.1% of the global total. China follows closely behind, accounting for 23.2% with 22 launches. Russia maintains a steady pace with 7 launches, with a recent Soyuz 2.1B launch of a classified payload on May 17th at 12:21 a.m. Moscow time, while Japan has 3 launches so far. Both India and Iran have entered the fray with 2 launches each. While it's a close competition, but the United States and China are undeniably spearheading this year's space exploration endeavors. So we have this pie chart showing 2024 orbital launches by rocket variation, including today's launch. Let me break down it for you. The green slice of the pie, that's the Falcon 9 rocket. It's a real heavy hitter with 50 launches, making up more than half of the whole pie at 53.8 and leading, 58.3% and leading. Then we got this purple slice labeled Others, which is a mix of different rockets, including Delta IV Heavy, Starship, Vulcan Centaur, ISRO's GSLV Mark II and PSLV DL, Japan's H3 and H2A, Iran's Simod and Kayam 100, Angara A5, Gravity 1 of China, and others. The names are not exhaustive. They got 25 launches in total, which is 26.9% of the pie. That's not bad. Next up, we got the Rocket Lab's Electron with 5 launches so far, with making 5.4% of the pie, and Soyuz 2 rocket with 6 launches so far this year, which is 6.5% of the pie. Last but not the least, we got China's CZ-2D and CZ-2C rocket. The CZ-2D has 4 launches, which is 4.3%, and the CZ-2C has 3 launches with 3.2% of the pie. There might be small slices of the pie, but every launch counts. Now currently we are just less than 2 minutes from the webcast to begin. We got a call out for ground gas closeouts. There we did the pressure off, and that whole gas when it reacts with the moist humid air gives you that nice white cloud, an indicator of launch upcoming.
Falcon 9 is a startup.
Right on time, Falcon 9 flight computers on stage 1 and stage 2 are running the rocket to the last minute of count. Now let's listen to the go callouts.
SpaceX Launch Director, go for launch.
SpaceX launch director giving go for the launch. We are coming up on T minus 30 seconds. All system continues to remain go for launch of Falcon 9 and Starlink.
T minus 30 seconds. $15 seconds.
Now we are T minus 15 seconds.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Starlink 659. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
We have liftoff. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower.
Vehicles pitching downrange. And 1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Currently T plus 24 seconds in flight. Falcon 9 on its way with 23 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Good call out there. Power telemetry and propulsion is nominal. We are into the throttle bucket.
Vehicle is supersonic.
We are throttling down the 9 Merlin engine as we prepare for the period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. We have got a call out from SpaceX vehicle is supersonic. We have exited Mach 1 on Falcon 9. Max Q call out. We are through the period of maximum stress on the vehicle. We have throttled the Merlin engine back up to full power. Coming up, we will get a call out for MVAC engine chill. You can see the horizon of the Earth. There is the sunset horizon. And we got the call out right on time. We have started to chill down the MVAC engine on the second stage prior to its ignition, just after stage separation. Coming up, 3 events in rapid succession. The shutdown of main engine on first stage, that is main engine cutoff, MECO, followed by stage separation and ignition of second stage, MVAC engine that will push the payload to low Earth orbit. Let's hear the call
Main
out.
engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. And back startup.
We got the call outs for MECO, stage separation and MVAC ignition of second stage. The first stage nitrogen thrusters is now beginning to reorient the first stage, and the flight computers has commanded the four
Fairing
hypersonic
separation
griffins
confirmed.
to slowly begin deploying now that the stage separation is successful. We got the fallout for fairing separation confirmed. We are looking right now a view of first stage continues under the power of 3 Merlin engine. It will continue to rise towards the Kuchi before descending back down towards the landing on droneship, A Shortfall of Gravitas, stationed in Atlantic Ocean. Second stage, meanwhile, in the middle of its 6-minute burn, is on its way into the passing orbit. Today we got some great views of sunset just over the horizon of Earth's atmosphere. Till now we had a great launch. First stage has done its job so far. It is on its way back. Second stage is running at full power. We are getting a great view from space, and we are getting ready now for the first stage to come back to drone ship landing site. During this portion of flight, stage 1 is using nothing but the grid planes to steer itself as it returns to Earth, and these grid planes orient the Falcon 9 during re-entry, and they help guide the rocket during its descent. Now currently we are seeing a view of second stage, but occasionally you will see on the first stage nitrogen gas burst for altitude control on the left side of your screen, and these are basically used to position the vehicle as it heads back toward the launch. Just to remind you again, today for the first time a Falcon 9 booster with tail number 1062 is making its record-breaking 21st flight. We are getting some nice visuals from the second stage heading towards its low Earth orbit.
Stage 1 entry burn startup. Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And there's a confirmation. We have just hit 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. You can see now we are rapidly slowing the vehicle down as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, and this burn should last just around 24 seconds. We got fallout for stage 1 FPS being saved also.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there we go, that's confirmation of shutdown of the entry burn on the first stage. The Falcon 9 first stage is equipped with 4 landing legs, and those are made of state-of-art carbon fiber with aluminum honeycomb. They are placed symmetrically around the base of the rocket, and they will deploy just prior to landing. Sooner we will have a fallout for stage 2 FTS being saved. Also we will have a fallout for stage 1 being transonic. Awaiting those fallouts. You have just heard a call out. Stage 1 is now traveling slower than the speed of sound as it heads towards landing. Speaking of landing, we are just about 60 seconds away from that. Upcoming next milestone will be stage 1 landing burn. expecting.
Stage 1 landing burn.
There you,
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
there you go. Great shot of that landing burn with that center E9 engine now lit.
Stage
We are
2 FTS is
slowing
saved.
down the vehicle very rapidly. Should be seeing those landing legs deploy any second now.
Stage 1 engineer deploy.
And there you have it.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
We have successfully made the 309th landing of an orbital class rocket with a record-breaking flight of Falcon 9 booster for 21 times. Coming up next, we will have the second stage engine cutoff or C41, and following that we will enter into 45 minutes of post phase as the vehicle ascends to its target orbit. And there are the callouts we were waiting for: second stage engine cutoff C41, as well as the confirmation of the good nominal orbit. Today's landing marks 309 overall landing of an orbital class rocket, and for the first time a Falcon booster, which is with tail number 1062, launched for its 21st time. With that, we will wrap up our coverage for now. Thanks Spearmate for joining us. Thanks Pop Tripika if you are still there. Thanks joining us also. We thank everyone joining us today live. We hope that you enjoyed the stream. Once again, thanks for joining us, showing your such patience, love and understanding, staying till the end. We are glad to have you all here with us, and we will see you next time.